Have you ever thought about creating a website? Perhaps you want to create your own online business, your own online store. You've already been thinking about creating your perfect business, your perfect online business, but you don't know where to start. Of course, you know that you need a website. That's the first thing. But how can you commence with that? How can you start? Okay, I'll give you today the basics for that. So some days ago, we had a look on how to create a domain, but we're going to review that again. As you see, I'm here in hostinger.com, which is my hosting provider, and it is also my domain provider. You can get your domain from any other provider. There are many, like GoDaddy. There are many. You just have to type on, for example, top 10 hosting providers in the world, and then you will find a lot of results with that. Most of them are just blogs talking about them. Let's go to the first one. This one talks about Hostinger as the best one. Outstanding. Free domain, email backups, and ESS and SSL, AI website builder included, 24/7 expert support, data centers covering 4 continents. I mean, Hostinger is a great hosting provider and a great domain provider. Yeah. You've got Ionos, Bluehost, DreamHost, Lakeit Web, SiteGround, InMotion Hosting. I got this one as well. Wix, Elementor. You've got many. It all depends on your preferences. But as I said, I prefer Hostinger. And I will leave a link on the description below so that you can get your Hostinger services with a discount. As we said, if we want to get our domain name, we would click here, get a new domain, and search the domain name we want. In our last video, I gave you some rules to choose the perfect domain name. And I said, please don't use hyphens because they take away some authenticity from your domain name, right? It's not the same having, for example, my domain name .com than having my hyphen domain name, right? If you put a hyphen here, then the visitor will think, okay, if you've got your hyphen here, then perhaps somebody has already this. And they have been working on that field for longer. So they have more, let's say, authority. Nevertheless, we ended up by creating a domain. Well, we didn't create it because in the end we didn't buy it. But we found a free domain name with a hyphen. I'm going to go for a domain name inspired in an ancient Greek word. Let's say eudaimonia. Let's search for it. Eudaimonia.s is already taken, but we can take .com. It's already taken. Okay, but we've got all these options. Okay, let's look for shop in ancient Greek. Search in the web, asked the artificial intelligence, and it has taught me that it is proletarian.com. Well, .com is not ancient Greek, of course. Let's have a look at it. And it is free, meaning it is not free of charge, of course, but this domain can be taken, right? Okay. And it doesn't have any hyphen. We can add it to the cart, and you see the price here, right? It is for 3 years. Okay, that's basically the way. We're not going to take it, but you see how things work in hostinger.com, right? You can buy the domain for 3 years. It is free, so nobody has taken it. For a 3-year period, it should cost $33.99. But as you see, the process of finding a domain name is actually very easy. So you just have this box and you type in the domain name you want. But the difficult thing will be to find the domain name you want. Because most of them are taken, well, many are taken, many domain names, because you have to take into account that there are millions of websites all around the world. So perhaps the domain name you thought about is already taken. In our last video, we used the hyphen as a workaround, but perhaps it's not the most elegant workaround. Perhaps you should take a totally different word. Once you've got your domain will appear here, right? As I've got some of my domains, they appear here, as you can see them. One of them is Talariasoft, where you can find some interesting plugins for your WordPress website. And that's what we are going to do. We are going to create a WordPress website. In this case, we are going to add another website. As we have some domain names, elementary Spanish with a hyphen, elementaryspanish.s.com, we're going to add another website, which will be a subdomain. What is a subdomain? So for example, you've got elementary Spanish here, .es, right? That is the domain I bought. But out of that domain, I can add a subdomain, which is dev.elementaryspanish.s. I created for development, right? Developing my plugins, and we can, out of elementaryspanish.es, create another subdomain, and in that subdomain install our WordPress site. Once you've bought your domain, if you want to get a subdomain, we are going to get a subdomain from here. We will go to dashboard. For example, we're going to get another subdomain from elementaryspanish.es. We've got here domains and subdomains. In my case, I'm going to create test elementaryspanish.es, and we're going to create it. So it's already taken. So now we've got our subdomain. If we go to it, we can't find anything. Yeah, we've got this in Spanish. Ya está todo listo. Everything's already ready. But we don't have anything, actually. We just have a photo here, right? So we're going to install our WordPress installation in test.elementaryspanish.es. You will do it in your domain name, right? Like, for example, the one we found. You're going to do that. You're going to install WordPress in your own domain name, right? Okay, let's go to WordPress and see how we can install WordPress in Test Elementary Spanish.es. Okay, we've got a drop down menu here. Let's go for the website we want to install WordPress in, testelementary.spanish.es, and that is very important, because if not, we would be installing WordPress onto another installation, and that could be a very big problem. We've got two possibilities to install WordPress. We can download the whole folder and put it here and then click detect, and that will be used by the server to install WordPress on your domain name, or install WordPress directly. This is the option we are going to use. Here you will have to enter your password. Testing. We're going to call that web testing. We're going to introduce a password, and we're going to click on next. Okay, this is the version of WordPress that is going to be installed in testelementaryspace.s, and we are going to leave all the options by default. Update only to minor version recommended. This is the PHP version, the version of the database. We'll leave English, of course, although to tell you the truth, I'm located in Spain. Okay, let's install it. And this is an auto installer, which means everything that before the AI was done manually, that is to say, to upload the files to the server. Those files were downloaded from WordPress.org. You had to take that folder, upload it to your hoster, or domain, your hoster, your hostinger in this case. Then you had to connect those files to a database. You had to create a user for the database. Apparently it has been already installed. This is the name of a database. Let's check it. Test elementary Spanish .cs. What's that, right? Here, we already have our website. Our basic website, of course. Then you will have to configure it and give it the vibes and looks that you want. And of course also the functionality. But you see, I've got your links here that actually don't take you anywhere, because you only have one page in your website actually. So if you want to configure it, you will have to go to the backstage of your website. So here at the end of the domain name, you would type wp-admin, and let's see where it takes us to. This is the entrance to your domain name, or to the backstage of your domain. You are going to use the credentials with which you created it. The credentials we were asked for at the beginning, right? So you can click and remember me. Always keep track of your users and passwords. It is a very good idea to use a password management like 1Password, Bitwarden. There are many, but I recommend you to use a good password manager because it can save you a lot of time and headaches. There we are. This is the backstage of our website. You see here? This means we are in the backstage, right? And we have created our website just through a couple of clicks. Nothing else. This is how to create nowadays a website in a modern hosting provider like Hostinger. As you see, it is a very easy process. Nowadays, we don't have to do anything. Just get into the correct options. Of course, create a password, a user and a password, and then you are ready to go. You will have your WordPress site already installed. After that, we will have to configure it to give it its looks. And of course, to work on it, to work on functionalities for which we will need plugins. But you see, I personally have created a website practically out of nothing. So I already had a site, a domain name, elementaryspanish.es, as you've seen, which is I don't use that domain name. It's there, let's say. And I created a subdomain, but being it's a domain or subdomain, the process is exactly the same. And then I told Hostinger to create a WordPress installation inside that domain name. It gave it a folder with a user. I created a password so that only I can enter the backstage of my website, because otherwise anyone could change anything in your website or hack it or take possession of it or change anything. And now we're ready to go. As you see, this is the backstage. Here we can add plugins, change the appearance, put comments, add pages, add posts, add media, videos, photos, audio files, whatever you want. You can make out of your website a whole empire if you want. So it only depends on you. So your website is already there. Give this video a thumbs up if you found the content useful. Of course, comment and also subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.